is the butthole.
Johnny's asleep. Perfect.
Brr, brr.
Oh my god.
Okay.
He's up.
Oh, that's what I was gonna bring up.
No, you weren't.
Hey, welcome back to Anime Casuals. I'm Lucky.
Here I go! This hand of mine is burning red!
And I'm Michael. Realize the only ones who should kill are those who are prepared to be killed.
Johnny. Your darkness swallowed up my son? Who decided that?
Erupting! Burning!
Now all of you,
Die.
Hey, what's happening, everybody? Welcome back to Anime Casuals. I am Lucky.
And I am Michael.
I'm Johnny.
And we make up Anime Casuals. Welcome back to the casual discussion. If you guys are new here, basically we just we do that. We do a lot of this. We basically just talk about any discussion topic and we talk about it casually. And this time we're going to be talking about fall anime as well as just anime that we've been watching in the fall. I kind of wanted to I wanted to start it off with something. I haven't told these guys about this yet. So I have been talking. So Fathom Events over here in Texas just had, well, I think it's all around, just had a showing of Howl's Moving Castle. I went to go see said premiere, premiere, what the fuck am I saying? Said
the premiere.
The premiere, bro.
This movie's about like 25 years old, but you know, it's like the first time it's been shown in theaters in Texas.
So I will say this. I did a whole podcast about it. I just wanted to get your guys' thoughts on, I don't know, have both of you guys seen Howl's Moving Castle or no?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Seen every Ghibli movie.
I was a little disappointed by it. I thought, compared to the other ones that I've seen, Studio Ghibli movies, it wasn't as coherent. It wasn't. I was still left with like some questions. Then again, and I mentioned this in my podcast. Maybe I need to watch it again to get the full experience. But it still gave me a lot of those Studio Ghibli vibes. Like I was saying, if like Princess Mononoke or Spirited Away are like are above an 8, I think Howl's Moving Castle for me was like a 7.7, like something like that. It's getting to the 8, but it just for me, I was so taken aback by some things. But do you guys have like a similar opinion of it, or do you guys think that I need to watch it again and pay $13 for another freaking ticket? Or
Well, you know, speaking of fall season anime, when Howl's Moving Castle came out this year,
yeah, exactly.
The thing with Howl's Moving Castle is no matter where it came out chronologically, it just the characters remind me too much of other characters in other movies. Like I think was it like the grandma that's in it looks exactly like the grandma from Spirited Away, even though she doesn't like provide the same role. Like
yeah, the Witch of the Waste.
Yeah, the Witch of the Waste.
Definitely similar.
I feel like there's like a boy who's in it. I don't think it's the main guy, but like that looks dead on, like the dragon guy from Spirited Away. The girl looks exactly like the girl from Kiki's Delivery Service.
Yeah.
Like there's a lot of similarities. Luckily, the characters don't act the same, but it's a very like girl's in trouble. She needs to escape with her magic like necklace thing. Okay, now chase scene for 30 minutes. And it's still really pretty, but I think you're right. Like the story of it is a little bit harder to follow because while Princess Mononoke has a complex story, there's themes in it that's really easy to pick up. Like Spirited Away, really easy to pick up. Grave of the Fireflies, like you understand. Even like some of the ones I didn't like as much, like the new one with the plane. The Wind Rises, I think is what it's called. It's easy to understand it, but
wasn't a big fan of that one.
Yeah, I wasn't. It was more like it was really slow, and that was my biggest issue with it. But I agree with you, Lucky. I would say Howl's Moving Castle is a little more convoluted, not with being too complex. It's just not telling as big of a story as these other movies. Like even Totoro is like the wow factor and the spirits and kind of getting into that world, and plus there's a cat bus. Like it's not a very deep movie, but it's also really fun to watch. So I think that's just where it gets, you know, it misses a few points for not like going too far in one direction.
I personally, I've always kind of thought they're all very unique and similar in a lot of weird ways. So I don't know. It always kind of seems like everyone can have a different favorite, Ghibli film, and that kind of, I mean, depending on how far you want to look into it, that kind of that speaks something about you. But I don't know. I mean, that's the thing. I don't like all the Ghibli films, but some of them I like more. Howl's Moving Castle, there's aspects I like, animation wise, and certain story things, but it's definitely not my favorite. I'd probably go to like Spirited Away, Mononoke, one of the bigger ones, obviously. But I don't know. I think everyone just kind of has their own niche, maybe the way to put it.
Yeah. I mean, like the old one that I like is Nazca Valley of the Wind. That's a really fun like movie. Although the story is like, what am I watching? But then it's like, hey, look at this massive action scenes with all these moving bugs that are gonna roam over the land and kill everything. It's like, okay, I get it. You guys have like a top 3 Ghibli movies? Or is it just Princess Mononoke, Spirited Away, and one other?
Yeah. No, I mean, I haven't watched that many of them. That's the thing. I mean, I funny enough, I did not know Grave of the Fireflies was a Studio Ghibli movie, but
it is. Right?
I don't know. I
haven't even seen
it's too sad. I don't even want to remember
Nazca
it.
Valley of the Wind.
I think that's one. And then I think another one that's up there is like The Cat Returns.
That's another one I know is Ghibli, but
it's Ghibli. It's Ghibli. Grave of the Fireflies.
Okay, yeah. I mean, Grave of the Fireflies for me, it did a really good job. The problem is, I also wouldn't want to watch it ever again, because of the factors that go into it. But yeah, I mean, Spirited Away and Princess Mononoke. I think Princess Mononoke for me is like top, and Spirited Away is right next to it, just because of some of like the cooler action scenes in there. But Spirited Away, man, it gives me that nostalgia factor, which I was wondering maybe you guys would have had a different opinion, just because maybe you guys watched it like earlier on, maybe when you were younger, and maybe you would have had that nostalgia factor that like added some points to it. Because when I just watched it like the Howl's Moving Castle fresh, I was like, I mean, this is good. It's just all the story elements were really rushed. There's a scarecrow in it, and his story is kind of like rushed at the very end, and I'm like, okay, cool, see you later. Like that, like it was really annoying to me. So, but yeah, I mean, I think Johnny's right too. There are a bunch of like different. You can have like different favorites.
Yeah, I mean, it's kind of crazy to think like I think his first one, nearly his first one was Grave of the Fireflies, and followed quickly by that was Studio Ghibli, not directly Hayao Miyazaki, because that's not quite up his alley. But like followed quickly by Totoro and Kiki's Delivery Service. And then like there's a couple I don't know, but then there was about 10 years later came Princess Mononoke and Spirited Away, like within a couple of years of each other. And so there's a bunch of like heydays that are coming out. And in fact, in 2023, he actually has a new movie.
Ooh, scandalous.
Scandalous, yeah.
Oh, man.
So I hope that answers your question, Lucky, about how Moves the Castle is the worst movie in the world.
Exactly. So, well, since we're talking about things that came out this year, why don't we head into some of the anime that we've been watching? We won't include the ones that we're doing on the Weekend Talk. You guys can check out the episode that we did on Friday if you guys want to know about Mushoku Tensei. One Piece that also came out this year, Platinum End, and the assassin gets reincarnated in another world as an aristocrat, whatever the hell the title is. But did you guys want to start off with any anime like that you guys have been watching?
Lucky, go ahead.
Okay, so
I don't want to overlap with you, and I feel like you have one you probably want to talk about.
Yeah, so I actually, I mean, dude, there's so many of these. There was a surprising one that. When I watched it, I was actually not expecting to be as into it. The first episode's about halfway through, I was like, okay, this anime got me. It's called Arena the Vampire Cosmonaut. And it's all about a vampire trying to... So, if you guys remember, we used to... we would send, like, dogs to outer space so that we are, like, chimpanzees, whatever the hell... Or what was it? Like an orangutan or something like that? Like, monkeys to space so that we wouldn't have to risk human lives. So, this is the same kind of concept. We're sending the world is split into two. Basically, it's kind of like the Cold War is happening. So we're trying to get to the moon before the other people who are supposed to be like the Russian kind of side of it. And actually, I think they're the Russian side, and the other one's supposed to be more the U.S. But anyway, since the vampires are on their side, they decide to send a vampire to the moon after a dog ended up dying up there to as a test to check that out. They end up trying to they want to send a vampire to the moon. Also keep it hush hush, and also they treat they treat her kind of like crap, and it's all about the story of a guy who was a candidate to be one of the first people to go to the moon, ended up not taking well to an officer, and is very like he's very much about justice, so he ended up taking on one of his commanding officers, ended up getting taken out of that program, and they decided, hey, this guy would be perfect for this to train this vampire in cosmonaut astronaut stuff. And so that's basically what he's doing, and it's really good. I like the chemistry between the two. You can tell it's kind of turning into like a romance thing, but also like a respect thing. So yeah, I'm digging Arena, the vampire cosmonaut.
I've seen that a couple times, and I've been very curious about it because I had no idea what it could have been about. So I don't know. I might check that out. That sounds interesting.
Yeah. By the way, on it's on Funimation for anybody that's out there.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
I guess I'll be selective. My radar. I've been watching Faraway Paladin.
Yeah, buddy. Did you tell me about this, Johnny? Thank you so much. It's really good.
Did you watch episode 3?
Yes,
because I just did like today.
Yeah,
it's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I just watched it last night.
Yeah, this anime is I don't know. It's pretty awesome, and it feels like it's got a ton of potential to it. And it's about this kid Will who this is so hard to talk about. He was adopted by these undead for reasons unknown, and they all raise him in their own kind of way. One of them is a warrior and a cleric, and I guess a mage or wizard. I don't know. That's too specific for me, and they all have to kind of train him and kind of get him ready for the trials of the world, because apparently this place is ridiculous with gods and nastiness. So it's been a very, I don't know how to describe this. It's heartfelt isn't the right word, but it's been a very good anime with very awesome, deep moments of character. So I've been really enjoying it. Yeah.
Yeah. The stakes have definitely been like raised from episode 1 to episode 3. Like it starts to get there pretty fast. And yeah, like Johnny was saying, the relationships between these 4 people so far have been pretty cool. Also, I would recommend anybody to not watch the intro. There's a couple characters that I've never seen before, even in episode 3. So you might want to skip that if you can. I don't know how this works, but on Funimation they have a skip intro thing, kind of like Netflix. But it ended up skipping me like halfway through the episode, and I was like, I don't think that's the intro, bro. I think that was half the damn episode that you skipped me through, buddy. And now I'm even more spoiled than I was before. So yeah. Anyway, figure out where whether or not you want to watch that shit or not.
And a show I'm watching is a continuation. Is called Isekai Shokudo, or Restaurant to Another World.
Yeah, buddy.
It's a wonderful little series that took a sweet ass time between season 1 and 2. That's
how long
basically,
was it, by the way? Do you know how long that wait was? It seems like it was at least 3 years, but I don't. Maybe more.
I think it was more. I would like to say it's. I would like to say it's probably like 4 or 5. But I can't confirm that right now because I don't have a way to do that.
Yeah, that's okay. Just keep talking. I'll look it up.
Yeah. So Isekai Shokudo is about a restaurant called Western Restaurant Nicoya. It's basically a cat restaurant. At least that's their mascot. And it's a restaurant that was set up a really long time ago to have, like, someone got isekai'd into I think our world or their world, and they basically found a bridge from that world, this fantasy world, back to the main world, and then was like, oh, you know what? They married somebody from this fantasy realm, who then successfully had a kid, and the kid got really into cooking, was taught cooking from his parents, and then founded this restaurant on our side of this portal. And this restaurant slowly, was passed down from father to son. I think it's only gone 1 or 2 generations, and it's connected by this wonderful door all throughout this fantasy realm. And you can find this door, enter, and then have like the best food, at least best food comparably to the people who live there. And just generally, the theme about this show is that it's a lot of little short stories about characters from this fantasy realm. And while you slowly learn a little bit about the owner and where he came from in season 1, then season 2 continues that trend with a lot more new people. And it's just a relaxing anime. That's exactly what it is. If you miss Food Wars, this is like, I would say, a good second best. I don't really know too much food anime that's out, but it is what I was watching between Food Wars seasons to help me be like, I'll just limp along to the next Food Wars season, and it helped do that because it has a little bit of everything. There's like dragons, there's like adventurers of every race and species, and there's just food kind of from all over the world. In it centers on Japanese food, obviously, but it's fun to learn about all these characters and their interactions, and the way they actually interact in and out of the restaurant, because they meet each other from all over the world, and some of them are like the greatest mages and samurai and warriors that like ever existed. And it's funny to watch other people's reaction, be like, "Whoa, is that the greatest mage ever?" And then be like, "Yeah, I'm just gonna eat my food over here."
Cheeseburger.
Yeah, there was like this guy who basically had like a Sanji story where he got marooned on an island, and he basically
Eat somebody's leg.
I don't know if it got to that point, but he basically survived like 14 days and starved most of that. But like just as he was about to die, I think it was like 10 days. Just as he was about to die, he found the door. He got in and he was basically like, "Please feed me. I will pay you back in all the riches." And he basically didn't eat. Kind of sounds like Lucky. Didn't eat until every 7 days, because that's when this door shows up. It shows on the day of Saturn. So it's a really wonderful series that if you just want to relax and not really invest too much time in something, it's perfect.
Nice. And by the way, the first season came out in July of 2017. So yeah, about 4 years.
Four years.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's
Feels forever.
It gives me some hope. Maybe some No Game No Life. Maybe.
Hey, see, stop bringing it up.
Maybe. Anyway, this is one that me and Johnny have been watching. It's called Miracle-chan. I talked a lot about this on my Michael.
I'm watching it now too, even though I love it.
By the way, have you guys seen episode 4 at all?
I am actually not sure.
Okay.
I might need to watch it.
Okay, dude, episode 4 is lining up.
Is that the one with the alleyway?
No. After that. So yeah. Episode 4 so far is my favorite. Okay, I don't know if I can say it's in my top 3 episodes of the whole season so far, and I was really surprised at that. So anyway, I've talked a lot about this on the podcast, but basically,
I have, yes,
yeah, I have exactly. It's basically just about a girl who gains the ability to see ghosts, and hilarity ensues. I was actually telling people on the podcast on Thursday that if you wanted to introduce somebody to what like Japanese horror is, because it's very much body
Junji
horror.
Ito.
Yeah. Don't give him the Junji Ito. Don't give him the Junji Ito.
You want a little baby foot in there. Yeah.
Yeah. Me and Johnny I got pretty scarred from that. But anyway, yeah. If you guys wanted to like get somebody in there, right? Like this would be a good way to like introduce them to body horror without it being like full on in your face. It kind of is anyway, but add that little comedic spin to it.
The sound design. Oh my god.
Oh man, dude. And
it's the worst.
Yeah, it's pretty I do really like the concept of it. I never really thought, I actually did not think that the ghosts were gonna be as detailed as they are, but man, are they detailed? So yeah.
Put a
Okay,
lot into them.
so here's a weird thing. Do you think Johnny could talk about this on For the Fans? Because it's also weirdly etchy at sometimes. Like when she's like bent over. Actually, you haven't seen that, but she like looks under her bed. I don't remember if that happened in the previous episodes, but then it's just like weirdly well defined. And then at times it's like, what are you guys? You guys trying to give people like a weird erotic sensation right now, like by going scary, erotic, scary, erotic.
Dude, wait till you see
I
episode
definitely
4.
hmm Yeah. It's good. It's a great show, but it is like it does what it wants very well.
It's the lightest horror I've ever seen.
I mean, those ghosts are creepy.
It's just so light.
Yeah, I hate it.
Yeah,
I
but
hate
then you just gotta wait for it to be like, oh, what's under here? And then she'll bend over and you're fine.
it. Yeah. Well, anyways, Johnny, what else you watching?
I don't know if I have too many others that I'm watching.
Well, I'm talking about stuff that we're watching. It's not a big deal.
Okay. No, see, we talked about that in the other one. See, I'm causing issues here.
Well, I can talk about one while you're thinking.
Go for it.
Yeah, I'll scroll down. And this is probably one that Lucky was going to talk about because I know Lucky and I are watching. But it's the hero banished from, or no, it's a guy who's banished from the hero's party. Blah blah blah. I'm a pharmacist now. That's literally basically what the idea of the story is. But the story is actually by the third episode, which is where I'm at right now, because I don't know if episode 4
Episode
is
4 has come out. Yeah.
Oh, it has come out.
Yeah.
Okay. Did it come out today?
Yeah. Wait.
Because I think I checked yesterday.
Yeah.
Either way, it's starting to slowly reveal like a lot of underlying conflicts between like the hero's party, our main guy, and like a couple other like characters in it. So it's starting to be a little bit grander than what I thought it was, because there's another show that's like, I got isekai'd and now I run a pharmacy. That's basically the story. And it basically like sets the story like 2 years into like this guy's life, where he's like living with a ghost and a little wolf child, and is like pretty firmly set up in this area, and you don't know how any of it happened, but it's like it's an isekai, but it's also really not at all. This one is taking an entirely different approach, is telling more of a serious story with it, and basically how this guy is realizing good potential he has, even though he's really strong, even though he says he's not. Like, he's a really strong character. He's like equal to like a king's knight. He was kicked out for something that it didn't seem like the entire hero's party was entirely on board for. And then his relationship that he builds with other characters are very wholesome. So I'm really looking forward to diving a little bit more into this anime, because it seems to be like a sleeper good anime that's out there. So I don't know, Lucky, if you have anything else to say about it, but
Yeah, no, I mean, I think one thing that it does really well is this idea that, because it started off like you said, right? This guy gets kicked out of the party for like one person kind of holding a grudge against him, right? Like this one person wanted to like kind of control the party. And
you're not useful, but I am. It's like, and then everybody else is like, I mean, you're not really, but I mean, okay.
Yeah, and I like the fact that he, even though like Michael said, he's very powerful, but in the context of the heroes party, he's not as powerful as them, but he brings other skills, which he ends up, lending to this town in the middle of nowhere. And I don't know, I really like that concept. I'm trying to think if it has been done before. It seems pretty unique. As I spit on my paper, it seems pretty unique. But yeah, I just like I've always liked the hero that doesn't want to be a hero. I'm like not the Goku heroes where they just want to like fuck around all the time and they just happen to be a hero. Like I like where you actually don't want to be a hero, and it's like I'm actually gonna not be a hero. I'm just gonna go over here and spend as much time as possible, like just living my life. And I'm like, you know what, I can respect that. So yeah, a very, very good anime.
Yeah,
choice.
I'm glad it's not purely slice of life, because I think that would have lost me by now if it was just like Like he's got this huge backstory, but let's just tell like his day-to-day like life. I would have been kind of upset about that. So that's nice.
Johnny, you got any ideas?
I'm gonna stretch it a little bit, but just because the English has been coming out recently,
Ooh.
I'm gonna talk about Realist Hero just for a second.
Yeah, go for it.
Actually, I don't remember the full title. It's like How I Saved the Kingdom Being a Realist Hero.
Yeah, how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom.
Yeah, reverse what I said. I gotta tell you, that's weirdly, I don't want to call it boring, but it's the most boring and interesting anime I feel like I've ever seen. I don't know. It's the realization of like how I'm enjoying watching like all this stuff. Like, oh no, we need to bring more food to the people and stability to the country, and I'm like, oh shit, and it's ridiculous, and I'm like, why am I cheering this on? It's great. It's just insane. Yeah, and I just like the English. Characters are interesting. I like how he's very realistic, very logical too. Just getting good people under his wings.
Yeah, it's dude, how a realist hero rebuilt the kingdom was. Yeah, it's exactly as you said. It's like it's a show that shouldn't be as exciting as it is, but for some reason, every single time something happens, you're like, "Oh, he did it!" Or "Oh my god!" I mean, there's so many interesting takes or there's so many interesting like twists in the show where it doesn't go exactly how you would think it would. But yeah, like Johnny says, he's very, very like much of a realist. Instead of being like one of these people who are idealistic like some of the other people are, he's looking directly at how is this going to affect my people, what is this going to do, how are we going to stabilize after this, all that kind of stuff. So yeah, good choice on that one. That's have they fully gotten to the 12 episodes now, the dubbed?
I don't think so, not yet. I think I'm
really
maybe
wow.
4 episodes away.
Okay, wow. There's one that I wanted to talk about. This one's on Funimation as well. It's called Taisho Otome Fairytale. I didn't know what I was getting into with this one, but on every Saturday, I try and do Anime Corner has like the top 10 anime episodes of the week, and I wanted to check this one out because it was one of those ones on there. And it's very much like the Duke of Death End is made in the sense that this kid ends up getting into a car accident. He wasn't driving, right? But his mom ended up dying in the crash. He ends up disabled. He can't move his dominant hand, which is his right hand. And the family kind of disowns him, tells him, hey, you got to go somewhere else. We can't have this kind of disappointment in our family. They end up sending him to a villa or over on the countryside. And his dad ended up saying, hey, I'll send a bride or somebody like that to take care of you, right? And ends up sending this girl who's like 14. I don't know how old the guy is. He's like 17 or something like that. Not much older than her, I hope. And yeah, it's basically this girl trying to get and she's very like bubbly, does all this stuff. And she's such an optimist, and he's such a pessimist. So she's trying to bring him out of this depressive funk, because, like, it gets depressing, dude. He spends days on end in bed thinking about how he wants to die and all this stuff. And she's the one that has to like bring him out of it and like hold him and stuff. And I was like, man, this show is so like all over in terms of my emotions. It's all over the place because she's very cute and bubbly. He's very depressing and like reminds me of like some like some of the saddest depressing stuff that you could ever watch, but they come together with a very cool storyline, so it'll be interesting to see where they go from there.
Since Johnny I guess is out, you want to just quickly riff off any more?
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
I don't have too many.
I didn't want to go over the ones that we talked about last time, because we talked about a few on our last episode. We got Komi Can't Communicate, which is a very similar story, but told in a very different way to Kimi ni Todoke, where not the main character, but basically the second main character is Komi, and she has massive social anxiety. and can't communicate to anybody in the school, but her dream is to have 100 friends or make 100 friends. And our main character is, I would say, the most average guy. And he has this very sweet interaction with Komi, and then they set forth on this goal to get her 100 friends. And the animation is like, wow, like,
dude,
wow.
The animation is like how I describe Domestic Girlfriend's intro. It's way too intense for the subject matter. You know what I mean?
Yes, absolutely.
It's like, dude, I wish I could have this in some of the freaking anime. I wish I could have had this animation in Berserk, bro. Where'd this happen? What happened, bro?
There's one scene that like really surprised me, is like when they're having like this dialogue back and forth, and he's like flashing back on all of his interactions with her, and it just pans every single interaction over the windows behind him. I was just like, what's good? Why? What? Like, you made the scene so intense, and I'm looking for more of that. And if you haven't started watching it, it's part of Netflix's new weekly shows that they're trying out to get us finally in Japan, like even, so we're not waiting a year for our anime to come out. And then of course the other one that Lucky and I are watching, and Johnny, while he is next to me, we'll watch a Blue Period as well, which is all about art.
Yeah, it's all about this girl who has a blue waffle and has her period. So yeah, it's pretty interesting. If you guys don't know what a blue waffle is, don't Google it.
I was gonna say, I'm gonna let this silence on a podcast. I'm gonna let this silence play out.
You know what the worst part is? I learned about what a blue waffle was from a girl. She just kind of said this casually to me, and I was like, "You mean blueberry waffle?" And she's like, "No, blue waffle." And then she started explaining it to me, and I haven't spoken to her since. So yeah.
So anyway, yeah, okay. Blue Period's about. All right, let's move past that. We're watching Baki Hanma, which is the sequel to Baki. It's really strange and good.
So is it a sequel? Is it a prequel? So it's a sequel exactly right after?
No, but yes. It's a sequel. I'm not sure why it's not directly like... I guess I don't remember Baki well enough, but I thought it ended with a tournament, and then we were going to the final battle. And this one picks up, has no reference to the tournament, but is like a sequel. Because he's still going to fight his dad in this. And so, I don't know, Johnny, if you could explain it better, but I'm just confused, but I love it.
Honestly, I'm not convinced whether it's a sequel or a prequel. I have no idea. I mean, he's definitely got the swagger like it's a sequel, but
like he's had sex before. Gotcha.
Yeah, I have no idea. I don't know. I just don't trust anything because this show is ridiculous, and I'm like, they could.
Basically, Baki shows off a bunch of skills he didn't have before and goes into a prison, and it's kind of crazy.
Yeah, I read a little bit about that, but yeah, that sounds about right.
Maybe they'll describe like where the timeline is, because I don't know why it would be before the tournament if he's going to try to fight his dad. Doesn't make quite a lot of sense. And then just to quickly wrap up, what's the other thing? Oh, I am currently watching a couple shows that aren't in season, but I'm watching How to Keep a Mummy. And it is by far the most adorable show I've ever watched. Generic character design, but everything else is really adorable. If you remember the very adorable faces and the tiny little Toru that's in Dragon's Maid, like that face of big white eyes, and the eyes are white, and they have the cute, adorable, like chibbiness about them. That's basically this anime in a nutshell. This guy's jerk dad has been continually sending him weird stuff that he finds throughout the world. Like he's an archaeologist, and he sends actual legitimate like spirits back to his son. Like he'll send like basically like a jar of this, and there's an oni inside, and then like a little shrine, and then there's like a trickster demon inside. Like basically like any Japanese folktale he'll have gotten. And then he gets a giant sarcophagus in the mail from his dad, who just visited Egypt, and he's like, "Dad, this is like, stop! Everything you send me is bad." And basically, what comes out is a tiny mummy about this big, like no bigger than someone's head, and it's really, really adorable because immediately he thinks that this mummy's cursed, and he uses a coat hanger to like push it around and like scoot it back inside the sarcophagus. And he's like about to seal it and send it away, and then you see some liquid underneath, and he opens it back up, and the mummy's just sitting there crying. And I'm like, oh. And so basically, like the theme of it is that he's learning how to take care of this mummy while like his friends also find these cute little adorable critters to join them.
That sounds like a better sequel to the Disney movie Under Wraps than the one that's currently out.
Yeah, it does.
Dude, I don't know why I just knew somebody was gonna make an Under Wraps reference. I don't know. I think we were just talking about it like the other day, and I was like, oh man, somebody's gotta make a reference to this.
And then the last one is Talk to OP Destiny. We did talk about that. It's basically Music Fate, where these a bunch of gorillas that chill on a planet and they don't like music, and these big scary like what's the show that Lucky didn't watch then he watched and Josh loves it. 02's in it.
Oh yeah, Darling in the Franxx.
Okay, yeah, Darling in the Franxx. It's basically like big old, like small little Darling in the Franxx monsters, and then these music people have to go fight them. But then with the animation budget of any Fate anime,
Nice.
and so it's really fun. And that doesn't cover everything, but I think that covers all the important stuff I'm watching this season.
Nice. I just have a couple here. So one that kind of surprised the shit out of me was, and this came out last season, but the second season is going on right now, so I'm trying to catch up. Is Higarashi When They Cry? This season's called Go. The next one's called Sotsu. The only way I can explain this is murder mystery. It's like a murder mystery dating sim, all in like one. I don't know exactly how to explain it much more than that. But it's really there are some disturbing ass scenes. I just watched a scene today where it's a scene where you would expect to see a silhouette of it happen on the wall, and they just show it. They just show it, and I was legitimate. I was about to like take a nap, and all of a sudden I saw that shit, and I was like, I gotta watch YouTube or something like that to get that image out of my head.
I didn't take a nap then.
Yeah, it definitely makes you realize that you don't want a crazy girlfriend. And yeah, so I'll just leave that at that. I've been trying to catch up on Aquatope on White Sand. Funny enough, I don't know why. It seemed like it was super boring. Not boring, but it took me a little while to get into, and I know I wanted to get into it. But now that I got back into it, I'm like, man, I don't know why I got off of it. It's actually really, really great. You know, what do you call it? Like aquarium-based anime, and in the aquarium, people tend to have like visions and stuff about things. Like there was a girl that was pregnant at one point, and before she has her baby, she's like in labor, but they're trying to get her to the hospital. And while she's in labor, she ends up seeing like a vision of her like newborn son. And it was really, by the way, it's another one of those things where the animation is like way too on point for what the subject matter is, but you can tell there's some supernatural elements to it anyway. So that one's been pretty good. And then my senpai is annoying. I told Johnny a little bit about this one. It's basically like if you're a pedophile, you can watch this and be okay with yourself. I don't know exactly how to explain it much more than that. There is a
It's
girl.
like Uzaki-chan.
Yeah, no, it kind of like that. It's except like more extreme.
Uzaki has giant titties.
Yeah, exactly. So and this girl
is in college.
Yeah, and this girl is fully grown. Oh, sorry, she's an adult, right? She's working in sales. She does not look like a Uzaki-chan. She literally looks like a little kid. But she has a senpai who is humongous. Like it would be, I don't even know how to describe it. Like he is probably, I mean, I don't know how big people are in Japan. That's the problem. You remember how we watched that Tiger Mask anime, and the guy was only like 5'8", and they were like, it's so big. It's like that's not that big. But anyway, this guy is really big. And he's her senpai, and he kind of teaches her all this stuff, and she is annoyed by him, but she's also very attracted to him, and she wants him to see her as more than just like a kid. Like he ends up telling her at one point, I want, like, one day when I have a wife and kid, I want my kid to end up like you. And she's kind of like, well, why can't I be the wife? And she was really drunk when she said that. So, it's a really funny anime, and I like it. But I gotta keep it real here, okay? We keep it real here at Anime Casuals. You're probably gonna like it more if you're a pedophile. So anyway, hopefully you guys enjoyed.
And we do not advertise the pedophiles.
Exactly. Do we? I hope we don't. we got to take those videos down.
Cancel.
Anyway, yeah, right. Cancel. But anyway, guys, hopefully you guys enjoyed that. Don't forget, you can check out all things casual at the link tree in the description box down below. I was about to say, never mind. Also, if you guys would like to email us, you can email us at animecasuals with an S, real REAL at gmail.com. But as always, guys, don't forget to keep
It too.
Casual.